Well, hello everybody. My name is Lynnette Stevens, and I wanted to come on this afternoon and share an upcycling project idea for you guys of something I'm making for my garage walk-through door. It's been kind of bare since I took down my Christmas wreath, and it's really bugging me, so I think I need to make something to kind of dress that up. So here's what I'm going to use. It's actually a metal bucket that I picked up at the thrift store a couple years ago, and I've just hung on to it because look at the front. And I'm sorry the words are backwards, guys. For some reason, I can't get my phone on Facebook Lives to flip around so that everything is correct for you guys when words are involved. So I apologize for that. But anyway, I picked this bucket up because I think it's super cute, and I've held on to it, and it occurred to me when I saw it in my garage the other day that this is exactly what I could use to create a fun little door hanger for my garage walk-through door. So I'm going to show you guys what my idea is, and it might just inspire you to go thrift store shopping. I think I paid $1 for this. So hopefully it will inspire you guys to maybe hit the thrift stores and garage sales, yard sales are happening right now, and look for things similar that you could take and do something kind of like what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you to all my sweet friends for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Okay, the first thing I want to tell you is I'm going to be using Waverly's chalk paint. The color that I'm using, because you guys always ask, is ivory. The next thing I get asked is where can I get that paint? Well, you can get this paint at Walmart. You need to go to the craft aisle because it's in the craft supply aisle where all their paints are. It's not over in the paint department, so don't go there looking for it. So it's Waverly brand, and I love the ivory because while it's white, it's not stark white. It's my kind of white, a good creamy white, and I love it. So if you're looking for a good creamy white, that's your paint color right there. And then the next thing I'm using is also my brush that I bought at Walmart on that same aisle that's intended for chalk paint. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I first started using chalk paint a couple of years ago, I didn't even realize there was such thing as a special brush for chalk paint. I used my regular old paint brushes, and if you don't have this brush and you don't want to spend the money on it, it's fine. I used my regular old brushes, and they work great. So don't feel like you have to buy a special brush to use chalk paint, because you don't. Anyway, what I'm doing, and you guys know me well enough by now, if you've watched enough of my videos, I don't use a whole lot of paint on my paint brush at one time, but for those of you who maybe haven't seen one of my painting videos before, I'm going to hold my brush up and let you see. Not a whole lot of paint. And I do that for a reason, because you can get carried away with your paint and end up with way more paint than you've got project to spread that paint out on. And that's a School of Hard Knocks lesson, by the way, that I have learned over the years with all the painting that I've done. So now I just play it safe, and I don't put a lot of paint on my brush. And then if I want more coverage, I just do that same thin layer again and go back over it a second or even a third time if you want more coverage. Trust me, that's a much better approach than having more paint than you know what to do with on your project, and you're trying to wipe that stuff away, and you just end up with a mess. And I'll tell you another thing, it also shows all your brush strokes when you do that. So if you put your paint on in thin layers, it's going to look much more even, and you're not going to see all those messy little paint brush strokes. So School of Hard Knocks, take it from me, put your paint on in thin coats. And so, guys, here's what I'm doing. I'm just going over my metal. I'm not even going to lie to you guys, because I'm using chalk paint, and it's pretty durable and kind of sticks to most anything pretty easily. I didn't even clean my bucket before I started on it. I probably should have, but I didn't. So, and it's working fine. So I think we're going to be okay, even though I didn't clean it ahead of time. Now, I say that, but I will tell you, if your bucket or whatever it is you decide to use for your upcycling project is pretty dirty or has especially a lot of loose dirt on it, you'll want to get that off, because your paint's not going to stick very well if you don't. So there's that. You do want to get that off if that's the case. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to paint the back of my bucket right now. Had I thought about it earlier today, I would have painted it before I came on live, but I didn't think of that. So we're not going to paint the back right now. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. I'm just going to paint enough of the side, if you will, so it kind of looks nice for you guys when we get to our final project. So that's what I chose to do. And then I will hang this up somewhere after a while and get that back side so that it looks nice, okay? And here's another thing I like about chalk paint. It dries pretty quickly, so that makes it kind of nice. Okay, so I think I'm happy, and I'll let you guys see. Can you guys see okay? I should have asked you. If you've been watching my live videos for a while, you know that the background looks different. I normally do my lives for you guys over standing at my kitchen island, and I don't know, I guess I'm feeling lazy today, and I'm like, I'm not going to stand over there. I'm going to go sit at my table. So I'm sitting over at my dining room table, just painting away. So, Cheryl, you can see? Good, because here I am just painting. Never even looked up to make sure you guys could see everything well. So I like this better, I think, too, because this way I can at least feel like I'm having more of a conversation with you instead of talking to myself when I have the camera the other way and pointed down at the project I'm working on. So if you guys like this setup, I'm probably going to start doing my lives this way because I just like it better. So, okay, let me move some of the little trash out of the way that fell off of my bucket because I didn't clean it first. We'll get that out of the way. All right, while our paint is drying, which isn't going to take long, it dries fast, I'm going to show you guys a super easy way to make a bow. And I have been making bows like this for probably 35 years when I wrap Christmas gifts or a birthday gift, really Christmas gifts. I used to be that real elaborate wrapper that, you know, try to make my gifts look like they came out of a catalog. I don't know. It was probably kind of stupid, but I enjoyed it. So I used to do bows where I just kind of stacked my ribbon. And do you guys remember back in the day when you used I don't even know what it was made out of, just the cheap ribbon that you wrap Christmas gifts with? I don't know what the stuff's made out of. But anyway, you know, I'd use that and I'd pile on all the little thin strings of it. And I'd take do you guys remember you'd take your scissors and pull against that ribbon and it would curl? Yeah, well, that was me doing all that crazy stuff. And so I've been making these for years. And it dawned on me probably about a year ago when we were doing some of the DIY workshops that I do here locally in my hometown, that we could duplicate that same thing with the ribbons that we use for wreaths or door hangers or whatever. So I've started making them that way, and it's super easy. You can't mess it up. And for all of you gals that are maybe a little nervous about making your own bow, take note. This is your bow right here because it's super easy. And Cheryl and K-Dawn and a couple of the ladies that have came to my workshops, I think they'll agree and tell you guys you really cannot mess these up. So here's what I did. I cheated because I knew this was going to be wet. The bucket was going to be wet. So I already kind of figured out about how long I wanted our bow to be. So I cut one little strip to get us started. So I've got that. And here's the thing. You don't have to make all of your ribbons for your bow the exact same length. Having a couple of them a little bit longer than the other, I actually think that looks good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to, I know I want my blue ribbon with the white stars to be my background of my bow. So I'm going to cut it just a hair larger than my little test strip that I've already, or should I call it a cheat strip? It's probably more like a cheat because I'd measured ahead of time and figured out how big I wanted that. So I'm just going to make my ribbon a little bit bigger than that. And I'm going to make these two guys match, okay? Because they're like ribbon, the same thing. So I'm going to have those be the same size, all right? So I've got those guys, and then I need one more because the ribbon, or the bow that I'm going to teach you guys to make, it's kind of you start off, you're just building like an X. It's kind of an X when you get started. So I'm going to need 2 of each style. So if you guys try this, same thing. You're just going to want to take and make 2, whatever ribbon you're working with, make you 2 of those that are the same, okay? And then I'm going to start kind of building my bow at this point so that I can decide what other things I want in it. One of the things I know I want to do is I'm going to cut the little V shape on the ends. I think it just makes it look a little more finished. And I'm going to do it for you guys again so you can see what I'm doing, okay? So I've got my ribbon and I'm folding it where the right side of the ribbon is together, okay? And then I'm just going to kind of crease it in the center. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to cut a V shape. And my V is going to end where the point is out at the end. I'll do it this way. I think you guys can see better, okay? And you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to cut towards the corner of my ribbon, and that's how I get my V shape, okay? And listen, guys, you know, you could do one end and then hold it to the other and make sure they're uniform. I don't get that precise about anything that I do when I'm crafting or making, so we're not going to do that. I'm just going to fold and cut my V and do the same thing on the other end. And I think when we're finished with this, all of you gals that are scared to make your own bows are going to be happy because this is so easy. All right, so now we've got kind of our X going for that guy. And then on this one, instead of doing the same V cut, I think I'm just going to cut these at a bit of an angle just to mix it up a little bit, and so that all of the pieces of my bow aren't identical, so that all the ends aren't all the V shape. I'm just cutting these, and you guys can see I'm just cutting those at an angle. Okay, and then I want to kind of make sure I do the same thing again. So I am holding it down, just comparing it to the first one that I made out of this burlap ribbon to make sure that I kind of have my slants go in the same direction. And honestly, guys, that doesn't even matter either. You can just have fun with it. So now I'm going to lay those on top, okay? And then I picked, because, oh, I should have told you guys this maybe before I started. You guys have probably seen me sharing a lot about this on my page the last week or so. I love the American flag throughout the summer. I don't just reserve that for 4th of July. I use it all summer long until my fall decor goes up. My American flags are in the house, on the porch, wherever. So our hanger is also going to have flags in it. That's why I picked the ribbon I picked. So I thought it would be fun to use this kind of red and cream, like a pillow ticking look. I think that'll look real cute, and to me it just kind of says country, which you guys know is my style. So I'm in love with this. So I chose this as my ribbon to bring some red into the piece. So I'm just going to cut my poor scissors. I probably should have got scissors that cut better than those, but we'll make it work. And on this one, I'm purposely making it where it's a little bit bigger than the burlap piece. Let me see if you guys can see that. I'll hold it up. All right, just because I don't want everything completely uniform and perfect to each other. So I am cutting this one where it's a little bit longer than my burlap pieces, okay? And like I said, you play with it. Whatever you like, that's what you do. So there's no right or wrong reason. You're just layering until you can build your bow up. So I also thought it would be fun if we put in this little bit bigger around jute rope. I thought it would be cute stuck in there as well. Once again, kind of the hint towards the country, which you guys know I love. So I thought, well, that would be fun. So we'll throw these in our bow. And guys, you could throw anything. At this point, and had I thought about it, I probably would have grabbed some. You could pull raffia and just lay raffia in. That's super cute. Or tie it in a bow and have it on the top and then tie the whole thing together. That would be cute too. So, but let me look here. I'm trying to decide if I might want to add. I'm going to kind of cheat here for a minute and pull the bow together to see if I want to add a little bit more. You know, I think I'm good with that. I was trying to decide if I wanted to add even more of the bigger jute rope, but I think I'm going to stop right there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and cut me a piece of the thinner jute rope, all right? And I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to bring my bow up, and guys, you want to pinch in the middle, okay? I'm just pinching, and by pinching I mean I am trying to literally just grab the sides of my ribbon and squeeze those, if you will, to the center of your bow, so that you don't, if you're not careful, you'll start folding your ribbons over, and then they get real weird looking because they're folded and they kind of lose their shape and get a little wonky, I guess. It's the best word I can think of. They get a little wonky on you, and you don't want that. So just squeeze everything to the center, and then I'm going to just lay it upside down, because seriously, this rope is getting ready to do the job that I was just doing with my fingers, and that's pull everything together and keep it in a pinched state, if you will. So let's get that done. And you're just kind of looking at this stage right here, guys. Don't rush this, because your ribbon's not going to run off. It's going to be here. Don't get in a hurry and start going too fast right here, okay? So I'm going to take my time, and what you're doing at this point is you're kind of making sure that you've somewhat got the middle of your ribbons, so that your bow doesn't look lopsided when you're done with it, okay? And I'm real happy with where that is. So you guys see what happens when I pulled it up? See how it pinches it in the center? There's the back. There's the front. Makes it look really neat. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to tie off one more time real tight, and that's going to make sure that it keeps the structure of our bow where it's good. Now, I've already kind of looked at the front and have decided I think it would look really cute if we had little bows there out of the jute rope. So I am going to, whoops, yeah, my scissors. Listen, guys, when you're a crafty person, you use your scissors on wire. You use it on anything and everything. My scissors don't stay real sharp around here. The gals that come to my DIY classes, they can tell you that that's the truth. So I think I'm getting ready to have to break down the tightwad in me and go buy us some more scissors, because we've cut all kinds of things with those the last year in our workshops, and they're getting pretty bad. All right, so I'm just going to stick a bow and then just look at it and say, you know what? I think one more bow tied the other way would be cute too. So you guys see, no precise measuring. I'm just getting out, you know, a pretty good size amount of my rope, my little jute rope. And if you ended up cutting it too short, oh well, pull it off, throw it in the trash, and cut you another piece. So I don't get too uptight about the process, and I don't want you guys to either. Just have fun with it. So, all right, now I really like that. I think that looks good. So let me turn around and let you guys see. Okay, so there's our bow. And honestly, guys, my red and white little pillow ticking, it doesn't have wire in it. And if that bugs you, that it's kind of floppy, then make sure that you use ribbon that's got wired edges, and then you won't have this kind of floppy look. But I like it. I think it's kind of cute. It doesn't bother me. And then you can also play with your ribbons after you get to this point, and you can turn them and twist them until you get them going in all the right directions that you like, okay? So I'm real happy with the bow. And if you guys notice, I left these longer pieces of our jute rope on the back, because I'm going to see if I can just use this when we're done with our door hanger, and see if I can utilize it to tie onto the handle of our door hanger, and then I don't have to use anything else on the back of my bow. So we'll see in a little bit how close I got on that. So let me get a drink, because I've been talking too much. All right, the next thing we're going to do is take our door hanger, and I'm going to be a little gentle with it, because it probably is still maybe damp just in places where I got a little thicker on the top or whatever. But guys, this is going to be real hard. So I bought a piece of styrofoam, and you can pick up this exact shape of styrofoam and other shapes at Dollar Tree. So you can pick these up for $1. So it doesn't cost much to make something like this. And then I'm just going to shove my styrofoam in. I'm not even going to glue it. I don't need to, because it literally, I had to push hard. It is wedged in there. So it will be just fine. Now, if you do something like this and you notice that your styrofoam is a little, loose, I can't even think of the word, a little loose, then you can use your hot glue gun and just put hot glue in a few places to keep it there. And then that way, if you ever need to replace your styrofoam, you can just heat that up with a hairdryer and it comes back off easily. So that's a tip for that. That's how I would do that if I were you guys. All right, now the other thing, let's see, before we put our greenery in, I want to show you guys the 2 flags that I picked up to stick inside of my door hanger. And I've kind of already cheated on this too and tested ahead of time. And I know that the sticks on these are too short. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to fix that. So I have got just some little wooden dowels, and I picked up a couple of just small little zip ties, and I'm gonna go kind of down towards the bottom on the one on the flag, so maybe it'll be a little bit hidden and not as noticeable, but I'm gonna go there and I'm just gonna zip tie this. And guys, for a lot of your crafting things, when you're needing to do stuff like this and make something you know, where it's longer or whatever, zip ties are your best friend, because let's face it, I could hot glue this, but it's going outside. So on days like right now when it's 100 or nearly 100 here in our hometown, and that hot glue gets too hot, then you guys know it's going to fall apart. Or if I store it in our attic, hot glue isn't going to hold. So zip ties, start using them. They are your best friend. So got the zip tie on and just kind of pulling that and making sure I got that good and tight. And then I'm just going to take wire cutters and cut off the excess. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that same thing with our second flag. So I should have, before I got started, I should have sat here and added up the total cost of this project, because guys, it's going to be cheap. I think it's going to look great, but cost-wise, not a whole lot of money. I've already told you that my metal bucket was $1 at the thrift store. The paint, I can't remember how much that paint is. I don't know, $3 or $4 maybe for the paint at Walmart. I always have it on hand, so I didn't have to go buy any, so I'm not sure what that was. And then the greenery that we're going to use here in a few minutes, I also bought it at Walmart on their floral aisle, and it was $2 a plant, and I'm going to use 2 of them, so $4 for that. So pretty cheap. And then $1 for the styrofoam. And then the flags were also, I bought a pack of those, and there was a 4-pack for $1. So that's a pretty cheap add-on to our door hanger. So this project doesn't cost much at all. And that's the key, guys. When you're wanting to do something like this, is to check out your thrift stores and garage sales or whatever, because when you can get your metal bucket or your grapevine wreath or whatever you're going to use for your hanger for $1, you can't beat that. So, and it just helps with the overall cost of the project. All right, guys, so I apologize, but I have to kind of turn this around to me for just a minute so that I can look to see kind of how everything is going to look, and so that we can get our greenery put in. Okay, let me get that on. Okay, and if you guys want, and I didn't think about this ahead of time, I could also just get, you know, some sort of filler to put in, like a Spanish moss or something like that, and stick down around it, which I'll probably do that after the live ends. But anyway, so next we're going to take our flags and just stick those in, and I'm going just down through, actually, let me see, yeah, down through the styrofoam with those. And I'm going to have this turned around just a minute so that I can kind of see where I want to put this flag, okay? And guys, let me tell you something. If you use and build your door hanger similar to what I've done today, then this fall you could very easily just pull, because we're not gluing anything, nothing's permanent. So you could just pull this greenery and your flags back out and put in fall foliage, maybe some sunflowers, mums, those type of things. And maybe you've got some cute, you know, little pumpkin on a stick. You could stick that in where the flags were. So you could totally just keep reusing the bucket, okay? So you don't have to have this just as a summer only door hanger. Just change it up for the seasons. And then the same thing. You could change it out, take your fall stuff out, and put in, pine sprigs, evergreen sprigs, and some pine cone and red berries, and make a new cute little simple bow now that you know how, and change that up for Christmas and use it at Christmas. And then even use it into the winter months by maybe taking out the red berries and adding just some maybe white berries or blue colored berries back into it, and stick some, at Hobby Lobby they always have the picks that look like icicles on a branch. You could stick some of those in, and then you can use it through the winter months. So, all right, guys, let me get this turned around so that you guys can see it. And once I get it hung on my door, I will, let me see if you guys, I better move this over a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Okay, so there it is with the flags, and there's our fun little bow that we made. And then I will take a picture of it when I get it hung on my door. I'll take a picture and post that on my page later so that you guys can see what it looks like hung up. So I hope this has inspired you guys to maybe stop and check out your local thrift store. You never know what kind of little goodies that you can buy and take home and upcycle. And or garage sales, like I said, those are all really good places for you to pick up really inexpensive things that you just throw a little paint on it and you've got yourself a super cute door hanger. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed my time with you, and I will be back with you guys in a few days with another little DIY idea. So I want to thank every one of you that took time out and joined my live. And if you're catching this on the replay and you have any questions, or even you guys that are on live, I'm going to go back. Thank you, Robin. You are so sweet, and you are welcome. And thank you to my friend Deborah. You guys are so awesome. I'll go back when the live is ended and make sure that I didn't miss any questions, because this one was pretty hands-on, so I couldn't really keep up with your comments through the live. So I'll go back, and if I missed your questions, I'll get those answered. And if you guys think of anything after a while that you want to know, you ask me in the comments and I'll get those answered for you too. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll be back on with you in the next few days with another DIY idea. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.